tragic accident, or premeditated murder.
The father says he forgot to take the boy to daycare.
And you're going to tell me that after 7 hours, he did not smell that baby in the car?
Up to 6 different conversations with different women.
Charged with murder and second-degree child cruelty.
His exposed erect being sent.
He wanted to live a child-free life.
He was yelling, he was hollering, he was screaming.
For leaving Cooper in a hot car for several hours.
We believe the evidence has shown much more than that.
Or something more sinister.
Just a few of the bombshells that rocked a Georgia courtroom, and one of the surprising details revealed during this probable cause hearing was that investigators say Ross Harris was sexting with several women as his son was dying in a hot car. HLN legal analyst Joey Jackson joining me now. Joey, good morning to you. That was a detail that was very difficult for people to hear. Sexting, just one of them. Then money problems, insurance policy being taken out on little Cooper. How much does that impact this case when it goes to motive?
Good morning, Lynn. So nice to be with you. Listen, this is huge, and I'll tell you why. Because of the reason you mentioned. We were wondering before, right? How could a father do this? How could someone, a parent, loving, caring, leave their child? It must have been an accident, right? Well, what do we find out? Wrong. Why is it wrong? Because of the fact that we now know, or get a portrait at least, of who this father is. He's inside and he's sexting while his son is dying in a car. At minimum, it goes to the issue of negligence, which you need for the second-degree charge for child cruelty, right? Because you have to establish gross negligence, that you fail to perceive the risk. Well, of course I'm going to fail to perceive the risk and not be paying attention if I'm sexting with 6 different women. And then, Lynn, it could go to more than that. If he did this and planned it and plotted it, as we may find at some subsequent point, it goes to further the issue of malice. And malice could raise this case to a capital offense. And then you speak to the other issues in terms of the financial problems, the marital problem. All of that goes to a motivation of why he would want this precious little boy to die. So it's certainly not a good development for the defense.
Not at all, but family and friends are trying to paint a much different picture than the detectives did earlier, painting him as lovely and loving husband and father. Actually, one of his college friends spoke out on CNN's New Day. I want to play that for you and get your take on the other end. Take a listen.
Before this tragedy, I had never heard anyone say a bad thing about him. He was just an overall great guy.
So I can imagine you were probably quite surprised when you heard the news. Tell me about the day you found out about this.
I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw people that I know posting about it. We were all in shock because we all knew him. It's just still disbelief, not knowing what to think.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to play a big role here, whether or not people can attest to his character. But nevertheless, it's still possible that he had a double life, right?
Absolutely, Len. And look, this is how you dispose of witnesses like this on the stand. So you know him very well, right? He's a friend of yours. He's someone that you had somewhat of a relationship with. Is that true? And so you know kind of how he is. Well, let me ask you this. Did you have any idea that he was searching the internet and looking at how people die? Did you know he did that? No, you didn't know that, did you? Did you know that he was searching the internet for how to survive in prison? Oh, you're not aware of that. And did you know he was looking at the internet to how to live a child-free life? So you really don't know him, do you? And so I don't think, Lynn, that the character witnesses that come forward to say he's loving, he's caring, he's this wonderful guy are going to have an impact at all, because the prosecution is going to be able to neutralize their testimony and show you really don't know him at all, do you?
And do you think we're going to learn more details from Mom? She also made some interesting, shall I say, internet searches. You think charges are to come?
You know, it's such a great point, Lynn. Now, we don't know, but I'll say this. Remember, this was a probable cause hearing. What does that mean? You just have to show enough to the judge to establish that he is being detained lawfully. We have evidence and information to show that he committed a crime. And so they didn't even release everything. Wait till the investigation unfolds. Boy, I think we'll hear more, and the mother may very well be involved in a conspiracy. We don't know today, but we'll see what tomorrow and the next day bring, Lynn.
It's just hard to imagine and hard to believe some of the details in this case. Joey Jackson, thanks so much for spending some time with us on this holiday weekend. Great to see you.
Pleasure and a privilege, Lynn. You be well.
You too.